In the 1970s, Mick Jagger responds to questions about people's fantasies about his way of life, being asked to leave a pub, and being thick-skinned.
Rock and roll's gotten to such a weird thing now because so many people analysing it, and especially in America, there's the most. It's a lot made of nothing as far as I'm concerned. People writing in newspapers filling up space, but I mean they're reviewing one song, taking 6 columns, the sociological meaning, the religious meaning, the political meaning, and then what I personally think, and they wrap it all up, I mean, it's just ludicrous for me. It seems to be too much appreciation from the older generation as far as I can make out. You can't get rid of them at concerts, asking these questions about, what made you write this, and did you read Baudelaire's Land of Cocaine? I can detect the influence of Rabelais there. It's just rubbish,
I noticed you've got Baudelaire on your shelves and the history of the devil and the idea of evil, so obviously you're not disinterested in the idea of evil.
No, I'm interested. I'm interested in the idea, all those kind of ideas. It's a usual thing, I think, at this time of one's life to be interested in that. I mean, after you read certain poetry, then you get interested in it factually, I mean, everyone reads all those things when they're young. Everyone that goes to college. I'm just a college dropout.
But a lot of people feel uncomfortable at the words of your song and the tones of your songs, don't they?
Do they? I don't think so.
Do you get asked a lot of personal questions?
Yeah, a lot of political ones, which I just don't have any interest in politics, I don't follow it, so I'm wildly out of date,
But why do people talk to you about politics?
Because they think, in their sort of interview mentality, that I have some sort of view which other young people think the same, which may or may not be true. I mean, I'm the same because I'm the same as them, rather than them following me. I follow them, or I reflect them or something, or I'm just the same as them,
But they ask you to speak for your generation.
Yeah, all that, which is just rubbish because I just don't,
Do people have preconceptions about you?
I can't tell. I'm sure they have. Fantasies they have. I'm not saying interviewers necessarily. Ordinary people, just people in the street, have certain fantasies. I think they have fantasies about everyone connected with rock and roll or films, I think that's what films and, show business, or what you want to call it, is about, as far as they're concerned. And the media have always never tried to destroy that, They always think, just think of so-and-so's, what they've done, what Errol Flynn's sex life was, or what, it's big fantasies for them, they can project themselves into that, A guy come up to me in the pub and say, will you please leave this pub? I'll say, why? I want something to eat. And he says, I don't like your way of life. Well, I mean, he doesn't know me. I mean, he's only got my way of life from the News of the World or wherever he's got it from. Or maybe he's just imagined the whole thing. I don't know how he knows what my way of life is. Only in as far as the media, so it's a fantasy.
But you must be very unobservant if you don't notice the way other people behave towards you.
I am very unobservant. I'm really, how do you say, thick-skinned. Either I've grown to be or I am naturally very insensitive to other people's feelings, especially people that I don't know. Except in an audience, and I take notice of them because I've come to see them, so I take notice of how they react.
Mick is asked why he attended Keith Richards' court hearing and asked to comment on the case. His sense of humour helps him avoid the issue.
Why did you come over, Mick?
Because I wanted to be with Keith.
But what did you make of the case?
No, I don't think I want to say anything. No, because it may go to appeal, so I don't want to say anything. It's not my place to say.
Mick is asked about Americans. Himself being a free spirit and his music being peaceful. He reacts honestly to these assumptions in a direct manner.
First line says
Sometimes they're terribly good, you know.
First line says you're electrifying and controversial.
Electrifying. I feel rather tired today.
You're controversial. I guess that cannot be enough.
It's very easy to be controversial these days.
Is it? How did you go about it?
I mean, you can't put a foot anywhere without being out of step. Terribly difficult.
Is it more so in England than it is in the U.S.?
No, it's probably more so in the U.S.
You did say a while ago, though, that you found Americans understanding.
Yeah, they can be fantastically understanding. I don't know, that lady said one mustn't generalise about countries, but it's terribly interesting to do it.
Yes, it is. Let's do it, about Americans in general.
Yeah, they're right to divide themselves up, you know, and they're so pleasant. And they can talk about things if they disagree with them. If they violently disagree with people's point of view, they still will argue, talk. Whereas a lot of people just will knock it down, you know, won't even mention it. But I think America's drawing into camps. I mean, it really is, seems to be, to me anyway, as an objective observer from this side. It's getting to be dividing, and the lines are getting stricter, you know, between everything.
You know, Mick, you, I know, like to think of yourself as a free spirit, undisciplined and so forth, and yet you're not at all. You're not?
Terribly disciplined.
You said a few moments ago that you're becoming less disciplined.
I am, but I'm still very disciplined. But, I mean, I'm not a free spirit at all. You can't be if you set out to do certain things like make a movie or make records. I mean,
that's what I was going to comment upon.
You can't be completely, but you can be free in your choice of what you do. And then when you actually decide to do it, you've got to get on with it. But and the discipline comes from yourself. It's all right.
The whole psychedelic thing and the approach to your kind of music is based upon love and gentleness and understanding. Is it not true?
I don't think so.
Because this motion picture, and I guess the slash behind it shows some of the violence that is involved here, right?
Yeah, it's violent. I don't think our music is very peaceful. We never tried to make it peaceful, only very occasionally when one feels in a peaceful sort of frame of mind, which is very rare.
You're frequently in protest against the harsh qualities of life, though, aren't you?
Just protest against things you see in people and in yourself, you know, that you don't like. You have to get rid of.
Are you optimistic about the future?
Terribly.
And about the future of performance?
Terribly.
The motion picture performance, Mick Jagger. And we're in London. Thank you very much.
Thank you.